Today I'm going to present a presentation on the development and generation of a child-centred research checklist. This was developed to improve the design and reporting of paediatric research studies. It is a descriptive mixed method study. It involves myself, Associate Professor Mandie Foster, Professor Lisa Whitehead, Associate Professor Therese O'Sullivan, Julie Hill, and Professor Everlot Morelius. As you can imagine, developing a child-centred research checklist from the age of 0 through to 18 years of age is very challenging, but also vitally important. Within the literature, we know that it's vitally important to include children's voices into policy practice, service delivery, education and research, and it is well referenced in the literature. However, there is currently no collectively or internationally collectively agreed upon child-centred research checklist that can guide researchers, journals and ethics committee in how it is to undertake ethical research activities with children. Within Equator, there are research checklists that people can use as adjuncts with their research, such as STROBE and PRISPA, and now there is a new child-centred research checklist that is now published on Equator. A child research checklist should not be a prescriptive tick box, but in fact be used as a tool to generate critical thinking, engagement, reflexive dialogue, and engagement in contemporary research practices with children across multiple sectors and multiple disciplines. This research, we aim to develop an internationally relevant, expert-informed child-centred research checklist that could be used to guide best practices and may be used as an adjunct with other research reporting tools. Child-centred research checklist was developed through a descriptive mixed method study that involved 5 sequential phases undertaken from January 2020 through to November 2022. Phase 1 was a literature review. Phase 2 from the literature review was development of a questionnaire that we could then send out to child health international research experts. Phase 3 was the creation of the initial draft of the child-centred research checklist. Phase 4 was a 3-round Delphi study, and then Phase 5 was the final development of the child-centred research checklist. The results of our phases, Phase 1, 2 and 3 are presented on this slide. So Phase 1, the search that we undertook from 2015 to 2020, we got 3,718 hits, as of which 160 articles met the inclusion for the literature review. This database search was updated from 2015 to 2024 prior publication, and we found that there had been no child health research checklist published. Phase 2, from an analysis of the literature review, we were able to come up with 3 main themes. This was respect, benefits and justice. These informed the development of a 10-item open-ended questionnaire that experts in the field of child research could complete on how research activities with children across the 4 age brackets, that was from 0 to 1 years of age, 2 to 4 years of age, 5 to 10 years of age, and greater than 11 years, could incorporate these concepts into their research. Phase 3, we got responses from 14 participants across 10 countries in regards to the questionnaire that we sent out that was developed from Phase 2. We still had the themes, respect, benefits and justice, and you can see there on the slide the findings that were generated from those themes. We further synthesised these themes into 3 new themes, being informed consent, assent and dissent, code of conduct and child-focused methods. This included 10 sub-themes and 29 categories. We then reduced all of these statements across the age brackets from 0 to 1, 2 to 4, 5 to 10 and 11 years of age, and we were able to come up with 205 generic statements and 76 exemplars. You can see on this slide the results from Phase 3. This was our analysis of the responses from the 14 international child research experts across multiple disciplines. So we generated 1,029 findings under the 3 themes, respect, benefits and justice. We deleted 123 duplicate findings and ended up with 906 findings under those 3 themes. In synthesis round 1, we were able to then resynthesize the data to incorporate 3 new themes, which was informed consent, assent and dissent, code of conduct, and child-focused methods. In synthesis round 2, we were able to reduce the findings to become statements and exemplars. So an exemplar would be how a researcher would be able to honour that particular statement, and that was under the 3 themes. So for informed consent, assent and dissent, we had 31 statements, 46 exemplars. For code of conduct, we had 100 statements and 8 exemplars. For child-focused methods, we had 74 statements and 22 exemplars. For synthesis round 3, we then synthesize the statements and exemplars for the 4 age brackets that were 0 to 1 years of age, 2 to 4 years of age, 5 to 10 years of age, and 11 plus years of age under those 3 themes. Here you can see the demographical characteristics of the child expert researchers who responded to phase 3. The majority of participants were from Sweden, and then running up was Australia. You can see that the years of research experience was vast. So the mean was 15.8 plus or minus 8.9, and the research range was from 8 years to 35 years. Here you can see the analyses from phase 3 under the theme informed consent, assent and dissent. So this theme had 4 subthemes and it had 9 categories. So an exemplar from Denmark for the category power differentials was how the researcher has conducted and handled the unequal power relationship between the infant, child, guardian and the researcher. Second theme, code of conduct. We also have 4 subthemes and we have 15 categories. So an exemplar from Australia for the category ethics was the study states how data collection techniques are varied to be inclusive and increase participation of children with a disability to take part. Third theme, child-focused methods. We had 2 subthemes and we had 5 categories. For an exemplar for the category data collection tools methods from Denmark, if the child is going to have a blood sample, first play it on a teddy bear, use local anaesthetic patch and give it time to work. Sometimes partner with the hospital clown who can simulate different situations and contribute to the child feeling confident and someone to be aligned with, and then, in agreement with the parent and the child, take the blood sample with the child. Phase 4 was the 3-round Delphi study that we sent out to international research experts across numerous countries. So you can see from Delphi round 1, we had 56 participants across 15 countries. The most respondents were from Australia. Second up was Sweden, and then there was the United States of America and Ireland. For Delphi round 2, it included 61 participants across 18 countries. Once again, Australia had the highest participation rate, then came Sweden, then I think Ireland, and then the United States of America. For the Delphi round 3, we had 41 participants that responded across 13 countries, with Australia having the highest response rate, and then Sweden. Slide presents the results from phase 4, being the 3-round Delphi study, and phase 5, which was the generation development of the final child-centred research checklist. So from round 1 of the Delphi study, we were able to reduce the statements to 75 with 32 exemplars for 2 age brackets being 0 to 4 years of age and 5 to 18 years of age under the same themes, informed consent, assent and dissent, code of conduct and child-focused methods. Round 2, Delphi. The analyses from round 2 resulted in the child-centred research checklist being reduced to 26 statements with 20 exemplars for 1 age bracket being 0 to 18 years under the similar themes. For round 3, the child-centred research checklist was reduced to 11 statements with 17 exemplars for the consolidated age bracket of 0 to 18 years under the same themes. The final child-centred research checklist included 11 statements and 24 exemplars represented under the same themes for children aged between 0 to 18 years. It is important to state here that for a statement to move through from round 1, 2, and then 3, that the statement had to have a threshold score of 80% or above on a level of importance to be included into the next round. The Child-Centred Research Checklist is now published in the International Journal of Nursing Studies. Please see the link with the DOI to this open access manuscript. It has also been published in Equator and is there for researchers, supervisors, ethics committee and organisations to use in regards to an adjunct with another tool or on its own as ethical reporting guideline and undertaking research activities with children. Applications for research and practice. Research and student supervisors can utilise the tool as a framework in the design of research studies to ensure important aspects have been considered and included. Journal editors can include this as a requirement for authors to submit their completed manuscripts for transparent reporting of child research activities. Organisations can use the tool to be completed in the planning and development of quality improvement projects. Ethics committees can use the Child-Centred Research Checklist or request this to be submitted with their research proposal for peer review. Child-Centred Research Checklist is the first international expert-informed tool to support good quality and transparent research for children aged between 0 to 18 years of age. It is also generated from a mixed method study undertaken across 5 sequential phases that includes 172 child research experts across 11 disciplines from 19 countries. The approach that we undertook to develop the Child-Centred Research Checklist was credible and can be used as an adjunct with ethics reviews and other study checklists to evaluate how research activities undertaken with children have honoured good research practice from a child-centric perspective. The final 11-item Child-Centred Research Checklist is registered on the Equator Network as a reporting guideline and will be modified after Phase 2, being a consumer engagement study. The checklist is also being assessed through Elsevier in regards to being a mandated tool for manuscripts that are submitted where children are participants. It has also been translated in Turkey. Please see the references on this slide that have supported the methodological design and how we have generated and developed the Child-Centred Research Checklist. Thank you for attention for my presentation. And since this is going to be virtual, please, if you have any questions, then contact me on my email address as indicated in this slide. I would also like to say that this research was supported by Edith Cowan University, School of Nursing and Midwifery Early Career Research Grant. Thank you.